Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Counter-Strike Global Offensive ESL Pro League. And joining us on the desk now is Sadakist and, of course, YNK for Ninjas in Pajamas up against Dignitas. I'm excited about this match. I don't know why. Something's got me excited. I'm liking the new, young, vibrant Dignitas team, and now they're coming up against the old veterans in NiP with that little spice of young blood in pit.
Yeah, especially playing on Train, which is not a map we've seen these two teams play that often, so really we don't know what to expect, more so even from NiP, who only played a couple of games since the roster change.
31st of January when we last saw them in action. It wasn't such the best showing for them either. They lost to the now G2 Esports as well in a 2-0. What does Pit bring to this team? We were talking about it briefly at the start of the show. It was a change. You know, they took out a main AWPer and they brought in a guy that can be used as a versatile player.
I think that one of the reasons they initially went to the main AWPing position instead was because they realized, all right, they went 87-0, things weren't working out. They were the only team that didn't really have a main AWPer at the time of all the top teams. I think they felt obligated, but it never really was implemented into their style and their roles correctly. And in some ways, yeah, I agree with that philosophy that you should have a main AWPer, but Forrest has shown that he can do it in the right circumstances, and there are still teams that can run 5 rifles and make it work. So I kind of think that Pit, and I know this is crazy, but I think his aim's not bad. I don't think he has the same game sense, but he can kind of be a Flare into Freiburg. I want to see that if they can make that duo work again, and they can get everyone back in sort of these roles that work for them, give them that more freedom to play with, and maybe just have him sort of as a utility player as well, because I think Freiburg struggled considerably without Flare beside him for a long period of time.
But can they find that same playstyle that dominated so much when people really weren't quite sure about it? Now everybody is very much knows what they're doing in the top echelons of the game.
That style cannot work anymore. In the meta game we have nowadays, that simply won't work. So that's why I think they are aware of it themselves.
Why they're struggling.
That's why they're bringing in Threat as well. I mean, but to talk about your point, but I don't think Pith is that type of a player. I don't think he ever played like the support role.
He's always wanted to step up.
Yeah, he was more of the players coming into the bomb site either first or second, you know, trying to get the kills, trying to open up the bomb site. So it's going to be interesting to see whether that is the case, whether, you know, Lauren said that sometimes he's the support, sometimes he's the entry fragger, so yeah.
I think CT side there's a chance for it to work. T sides I was more the CT sides. I want to see the flashes for Freiburg and stuff like that. T side you might be right. I'm not sure how it fits in there. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, just end your sentence like midway through a sentence.
I figured he would keep going on that. No, I find it a bit. You're right, though. Pitt's never really stepped back and said that he will play that sort of role. But at the same time, I think he has a lot of respect for the guys on NiP, so he might be willing to listen a lot more.
Definitely, that's the case. I just think that until we see a couple of games from them, we won't know what to expect, really.
Yeah, Train's definitely the big opener for them. Mirage is going to very much be Dignitas' favour. It is a map they have been fantastic on coming up, but it looks like the game is about ready. Don't forget, you guys at home, to get involved with the Score Esports app as well. You can get that on iOS and or Google Play. Get the score stats and everything else on there. But for now, we're going to get the game underway. It's going to be Henry G and Pansy for NiPV Dignitas.
Thank you so much. And yeah, a lot to be said about this matchup, but it's mostly a lot to be seen, isn't it, really?
Well, this is the thing. Obviously, we've got NiP. This is their year. They've adjusted everything. They've brought a new Bloom Blood. They've got a coach now, and we actually can see him on the server as well. That's kind of interesting.
Got very excited.
I know. I saw him join. I was like, "What?" I thought this is being delayed. Obviously, I think we got some intel. He's only actually landed back in towards Sweden like the last couple of days, right? So he obviously hasn't had much time to actually do anything with this team. But it's promising to see them finally kind of adjusting, kind of catching up with everyone else in terms of getting a coach.
Correct.
And he's actually going to be the in-game leader as well. That's kind of exciting for me. The fact that exists, he is a very good fragger. When he can get rolling, and he's not going to have this pressure anymore calling. So hopefully that's going to be something they can actually work towards. And the problem is, Train has never been an amazing map for NiP. It's always been like a map they can play, never to any sort of amazing level, like especially in the last few months as well. So it's going to be the first map to open us up here. Dignitas on an absolute hot streak right now. They seem to be the young hot property in CSGO, seeing like they can actually take anyone down in their path. That's amazing results over the last few days. So I heavily favour them. Their Train is a very strong map for them as well.
Yeah, and I'm just so interested to see how NiP bomb now. This is it completely to me. It's as much as I like the new Dignitas, I think config is ridiculous. MSL's been having crazy, like everyone is so talented. Yeah. For me, it's just like what NiP are we gonna see? You know, because this is the first big showing.
Yeah, it's their debut here in the Pro League. We'll see what they bring to the table. The knife round is underway. You can see it on your screen right now. It'd be great for NiP to get a CT star here and let's have a nice stable defense, but it does not like to go that way. It's going to be just Forest and Private remaining here. But Yeah, I completely agree. I'm really excited to see what NiP bring to the table. I don't think we've seen him at a LAN since Frag by Masters in December, and they had a decent showing there. They lost to Fnatic in the end, but they took a couple of maps, and obviously that was with Alu. That was his last event before he bowed out. I think he pretty much tore his contract up as soon as that event finished. He was done.
Had enough of that.
Yeah, so he's moved on to Ents, obviously, but now we have Pit, and I'm excited to see how he's fit in. I know these guys have been working hard. They've got like a little boot camp going on right now.
Yep.
They're in the office trying to make things happen. And it's a very exciting time for NiP fans all over the world. There's definitely a lot of them. So we go into the first round here. NiP will be starting on the T side of train. They have got 2 utility players, Freiburg and Zix with the smoke grenades, and 3 sets of armor. It's actually going to be full sets of armor for Dignitas, not a single kit here. So that could be problematic. We'll see how this one pans out.
They do have the 4 players. Now 3 more than 4 put towards this A site. Bear in mind, Kirby did dabble towards it early on, but already a little bit of a back and forward down Ivy. Nothing too much coming from it. Good building to Rubinho, but other than that, there's still Tensky there. But NiP taking their time. Good initial damage coming through again. And now Tensky also getting a little low. And it looks like NiP do want to start building that play up. And it does seem as though it's going to be starting right about now. Get Right coming through as the raid boss here doing the damage. Freiburg called out config. And now this 4v3 looks pretty darn favourable.
Absolutely. You can see them doing absolute work, those Tech 9s there. We can see MSL taking down Pit as well. They're still fighting back. There's a 3-on-2. Rubino's gone down to very low HP indeed. So the bomb should be planted momentarily. And I said before, it makes things a big problem as they have no kits, but MSL has other ideas. It gets a double. That's a fantastic shot to bring it into a man advantage. Just Get Right remaining. Has got the Tech 9 and armor to work with.
Forrest just got completely caught out, but oh my god, MSL, 4 kills and the retake.
That was sick.
That's just sexy CS. I'm not going to lie to you. That was just beautiful from MSL. Like, that was a solid situation for NiP. Bomb down, pretty well set. Okay, Rubinho could have been a nuisance, but he's low. And then there's MSL. What can he really do? But then again, wow, how can NiP let that happen?
MSL did that all by himself. You don't really see that kind of counter from this guy. Like, that sort of insane play, like massive clutch situation. You've got the replay right now, and that's just a moment to behold. That was insane. We saw Get Right with that Tech 94. He's in a favourable situation of that final shot to finish things off. Very impressive indeed. So the young Danish side going up here 1-0. You can see it's not a full investment from Ninjas and Pajamas. They're going to be going for AKs next round. Getting that bomb down does mean you can bring early rifles to the party. Dignitas preparing accordingly. They have got 3 rifles themselves and a Tech 9 saved from the last round of Rubino.
So, Rubinho going, pushing down Ivy. Not too far, however. Get Right is just towards the end. But we are seeing this as a relative consistent exist and Pit together. Forest and Freiburg for now. And Get Right pushing up by Ivy. We'll see if that does retain throughout this matchup. This is obviously just living into a pistol.
Yeah, they're going to see. They can just wait for the CD smokes to dissipate there. Make some plays out towards main. As Freiburg's going to be dropped first. Exist doing what he can from Pop Dog, but not really many options here for NiP.
Certainly not. If they could get anything done, it'd be impressive, if I'm honest, but it's so hard on this map especially. And Dignitas are not giving them much room to breathe. Forest will at least get down config, but by now there's nothing recoverable, and Kierby is going to just seal the deal. So Dignitas getting a pretty darn good second round here. Nice and clean, only losing out on 1.
This is where it gets interesting though, right? Because the AKs come out. They won't have an amazing buy. You can see they've got AKs, armor, and smoke. So this is the time of round, Lauren, when I decided to see a full wall of smoke. Execute come down. You need to get the bomb planted, get in the post-plant situation because you haven't got that much to work with to actually dissect the map. You can't really waste too much time here. So that's what I'd like to see them go into and bring in straight away. Let's see what they decide to do. It's going to be an AWP brought out when Rubino's got an early one as well. A lot of boosts coming in towards the main entrance. And they just get absolutely owned towards middle. Both of them sat there looking like plums in main entrance and just get destroyed, unfortunately.
It really did, and shoulder peek then may actually just let Rubinho just focus in on this as config's already shut down Exist, trying to push through Pop, and now Pit's left alone and Forrest just gets called out completely again. This is very, there's absolutely nothing to be said here for NiP. They're just getting picked up so early on, and config on the verge of the smoke. Going to find Get Right, but Get Right adjusts perfectly. Gets down config at least here, but it's down to the 2 remaining players of Pit and Get Right to find anything. And to be honest, I'm very lackluster performance there from NiP early on.
I assume they just didn't expect the AWP to be coming out in that third round. Obviously, Rubino, he had saved the Tech 9, didn't invest really anything the second round, brought it out nice and early, and I guess they thought they were going to go up against some SMGs. The round still seems like it's not over yet, but that should solidify things as Rubino gets his third of the round. And it's just going to be Get Right remaining now. Has got the bomb in hand and some positional control, but it's Kiabi to finish things off there. 3-0 in favour of Dignitas, and a pretty lackluster round from NiP there.
The difference an orb can make in the right hands, I guess, at that point. And As you said, 2 of them got dealt with. The only real kills that came through was maybe Pitt finding one, but couldn't really build anything off the back of that. Now NiP's money is far from perfect. And to be fair, Dignitas isn't flush yet. They're still very early into this game. They're yet to be able to build up that nice economy they can fall back on. However, they are pretty well set thus far. And I feel NiP need to kind of just tweak things around a bit, I can imagine, and just get settled into playing against Dignitas. They are a young team. They are hard to read. I guess they're not the first team on the anti-strutting list here, but you've got to start taking these guys extraordinarily seriously. It seems as though NiP are maybe going to try out a B hit.
Yeah, they're just going to flash through and see if they can surprise one of the players. There's going to be 2 waiting for them, MSL and Kiabi. You can see they're smoked out for now, and with only P250s in hand, not really much I can justify to actually just run through the smoke and hope for the best. I've got to wait for that to dissipate first, and then presumably burst on the side. They've got no utility now, just trying to see if a boost with a pistol. I think it's the Desert Eagle on top.
Yeah. No, it was Forest on top.
Okay, interesting.
As you do. Well, Forest is going to be the first man in. Gonna check it out. I think he just caught a glimpse of MSL, but Kiabi's the one to get the first frag, and that's actually Freiburg down. Nice work from Forest and Exist. Breaking into the site, 2 guns recovered, and a quick push through from Forest, but he just can't get the shot, and Config denies it completely and utterly. Bomb is in the wrong spot, and now Pitt, last man alive and not for long. So, Dig, 4 rounds back to back.
Yeah, that was actually a close round. Ninjas and Pajamas getting those 2 entry frags. Config on the rotation. Had Forrest have found that shot with the AK-47. It looked like he was going to land it. They would have won the round, but Config steps up. 3 kills for him on that retake position. And we go into round number 5 now. Forrest is on the AWP. There's been questions speculating how this team's going to be going forward and what the roles are going to be in 2016. Looks like Forrest will be kicking it off as the sniper duty here. It's going to be Rubino. On the other side, though, he's going for an aggressive Ivy pick. I like this. They're kind of mixing things up and going aggressive here.
Get right was consistently pushing that earlier into this game, but Forrest has actually come around. If we switch over to him, he's actually looking towards that, but while we do that, Kiebi's already taken some map control there, pushing in towards the brown holes by B and just already finding Exist. A massive loss so early on here. NiP's going to be a little frustrated, I can imagine, at that one.
Yeah, just super confident. They're really happy with their ability right now. That aggressive face from the upper platform works out. You can see Rubino on the other side of the map. He's fully pushed Ivy as well, so that information that's gathered is just so massive for him. So they're going to get rotation calls in. They can actually get towards B. They can be pretty happy with that. You can see NiP actually making their way with the bomb now. Still have the AWP to work with and some decent utility. Just trying to get some sort of control of the upper platform here.
It's going to be MSL and Kievi to hold this off. Config, Tensky and Rubino still over by A at the moment. Obviously mildly aware of what was going on, but didn't have the complete picture, so you might as well play it a little safer at this point, and they can rotate easily on that retake. We saw Config doing it just a round ago, even though it was against pistols this time. Forrest going in with the AWP here, looking for the pinch. 2-2 pushing in, gets absolutely shut out by MSL, and finally trades it out though. NiP are at least into the site here. One player is still here at the moment. That was Config on the early rotate, but a stunning little pickup means it's back in their favour.
This is it, Freiburg now. Precariously behind the smoke towards Connector. Does take a little bit of damage. Tensky knows he's there. This frag means everything. He gets it as well. Can he make it a double? Done decent damage to the CTs now. And Freiburg coming to life here as Rubino's left in a 2-on-1 situation with the AWP. Should be dealt with here momentarily, surely. There it is. Freiburg with the inside take. They lose the first man, but recover the situation well. Smoking them towards that Connector area. Flashbangs come in and just decent entry frags. And Freiburg, we haven't seen a round like that for a while from him. He's actually had a very quiet 2015. Maybe this is his resurrection.
I can only hope. I absolutely love watching Freiburg play when he does get towards that solo level, but really nice trading out as well, going towards that B site. Even though Forrest did go down, instantly picked up on MSL, instantly picked up on Kievi.
Yeah.
Really well played off the back of it. However, Forrest going again towards the wallbang, and that looked spot on, but about a mile away from Breuer. Probably hit, sadly, for his sake. But by this point, 4 players now towards the A site with a mildly pushed up MSL, just trying to get that information, even just the sound on toward the B side of things.
NiP now working their way towards Ivy, just held out by the smoke for now. It's actually a very decent round for them going forward because you can see Dignitas don't have the AWP. They have a lack of utility as well, just 1 smoke and 1 kit to play with as well. So that's the final smoke being used. And we can see how NiP are going to approach this round. They've got a huge upper hand here in terms of the equipment.
A lot on this one. This makes me worry though, because these are the rounds that Dignitas can turn on a dime. But this time Freiburg again. Gonna find Rubino. Can there be any more to come this quickly? Already a good start, but Pitt gets caught out. MSL's presence, duly noted now. He's been pushing up, getting that information. Round in and round out. And again, soloing out on the B side. He's going to fall back now. He's upgraded to a rifle as well, to a full AK. This is perfect. It's
just because obviously they lose that first man. A reaction has to come in. That's just basic Counter-Strike. As soon as you lose that frag and Ivy, someone needs to be doing something. He pushes inside, finds a kill onto Pitt, and finally they kind of neutralise things here. Now the ball's back in NiP's court. They need to work out what kind of information he's gathered. Has he pushed into the toilets? You can see them kind of dissecting that inside area now. Bomb on Freiburg. I'd assume will be a very similar round to what we saw last time. Similar smoke, same flashbangs, and it's be up to MSL as to whether he can hold them off.
Last round, Kiebi was a lot closer to this, so it could actually be a little bit more tricky. And MSL is actually in a very similar spot to the prior round, and actually the molly's going to come down close, but not close enough. MSL can still sit here. Now there's 2 more players on the rotate from Dignitas, but a quick pick up there for Exist. Cleans out the side itself, but here's the reinforcements that could cause the trouble. Configure finds Get Right, and Kiebi's found Exist, and suddenly we're down to this 2v2. This time, however, it's Forest and Freiburg.
Well, Freiburg continuing his strong form. Another 3-man for Freiburg. And actually make it 4 for him, so that's actually pretty nuts. And as we saw, these execute, you can see NiP have been working on this map. We didn't have this level of strategy before going into this, so that's a really nice, heavily utility-based execution as well. Smoke's being everywhere, flashes very hard for the CTs to do anything with that. And Getfig, one of my favourite players on the server right now, stepping massively.
I really wish I could say what I want to right now. I'm so close to what I said before. I think I've been getting in the habit of saying the other phrase, but yeah, back into topic. Getfig this time not at the helm. And we do see the stack coming out from Dignitas. 5 players pushing up towards B. MSL config going to fall away as NiP are completely and utterly over by A. Bombs going down, but try and do what you can. You might as well on these pistol rounds rather than just sitting there playing default, as I know it does completely anger Anders every time they do it.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? Obviously, they've gone towards the inside bomb site 2 times in a row, so they thought, let's just do a 5-man stack towards inside, push up the lower ramp. Even if we find 2 players, we can get an equal exchange. We're going to have some rifles to work with at least. So bomb does go down. First frag does go in favour of Dignitas, but unfortunately they don't really have much to work with in terms of the actual round win. They do get a couple. It's Pit and Get Right that are dropped. But you can see they haven't been able to salvage anything much more than an MP7 at the moment. So bomb will explode, but at this point, if Dignitas can find some exit kills, that would be fantastic.
They're in a good place for it too, actually. I didn't know there was music on that map, to be fair, at that point. I got really confused then. And looking at this, 3 players stay alive for NiP. And no other recovered rifles, or any recovered rifles, should I say.
That's actually 3 rounds in a row now. So NiP showing that they do have what it takes to compete here. At least it was a 4-0 deficit to Dignitas to begin with, but fighting back now. And you can see the money for the young Danes still hasn't really stabilised. Not a single orb or kit once again. They really do need to find a round here and make it 2, to be honest, to actually stabilise things. But Forest trying the old wallbang once again. Not going to amount to anything at the moment.
Absolutely not. Now, a lot quicker presence from Get Right out towards B, and look at that play. MSL gets punished this time. He was doing so well prior to that, but again, NiP going to get the early man advantage. Freiburg had been handing those across to NiP earlier, but now Get Right fancies a little bit of the attention back towards himself. But that bomb yet to be moved. Still not yet the plan, but I like this from Tensky a little bit further up, trying to switch it up on the A site.
Well, they lost the first man once again. We can see whether Dignitas will be going for an aggressive face and try and get the man disadvantage back. As NiP have slowed it right down now, just biding their time. You can see how they've bled the CTs out here. Only have 1 smoke to work with and a couple of flashbangs. That's about it. And potentially he's going back towards that inside take, Lauren. It's been so effective for them so far. Freiburg, he's getting 3 or 4 kills every single time. Why not? Here's a reaction play from Conflict. Gets 1. Can he make it 2? He does. Still alive here, but Get Right finally takes him down. It's going to be a 3-on-3. And once again, NiP is slowing things down. Going to see where the CTs lie as they enter the bomb site here.
That flash caught all 3 of them. That was so deadly then, but still NiP just be pouring in. There is 1 man on the site so close here. Kievi lays in wait, but Freiburg finds him. What a critical frag at this point, as they do need to start getting that bomb down and quickly. But Tensky was already rotated. Rubino is not far away. This is still very possible for Dignitas here in this 2v3. Maybe not so much now, as Get Right does find Tensky. And now, just caught between the trains, Pit joins in on it.
Yeah, Config there. That was the reaction we were looking for, and what a reaction it was. Did find 2 stellar kills, but it wasn't quite enough. That inside execution proving to be a thorn in Dignitas' side here. Unable to hold it off, as Kiabi did what he could from the spools, but Freiburg once again taking him down. He's having a great game so far. He's on 9 frags, actually top fragging for NiP. It's only Config that's above him. So we're going to round number 9 now. It's going to be yet another eco for Dignitas, and really impressive showing from NiP in these latter rounds. Actually got 4 in a row now, and there's kills flying in. And Tensky does take down Pit as a response, but the bomb should be planted momentarily.
Yeah, very much. So Exist going to find any players there who are just dropping down by pop. And Tensky is the last one standing with the Deagle. Not long for this world, but yeah, the one thing I'm thoroughly impressed with is on these buy rounds, their plays towards B. They've been absolutely stellar. We haven't seen much of a choreographed piece towards A on full gun rounds.
Well, this is the thing, that they've been quite effective at getting this first man pick, and when you get that pick, it's very unlikely the CT's actually going to leave 2 players in towards B at that stage. You normally, when you've lost a pick towards outside, you need to get back them up. You can't allow you to be at the man deficit, where that's normally the favoured side, to be fair. So it's a very good mid-round calls coming in from NiP so far, and it seems like they're actually playing these T rounds, the main gun rounds, perfectly. Like the Forest Orb hasn't had to have too much of effect. It's been all down to these simple plays towards the inside side. Freiburg doing his job again, finally, with his entry picks, and it's been working really well for them. But finally, Dignitas, after hitting the maximum loss bonus, they do get the AWP back onto Rubino. So this is where things potentially get slightly interesting again.
Yeah, Rubino was the one who got that beautiful 3K in that first round, actually picking up the players just where he was looking. Yeah. With the boost coming out, that was a little bit suspect. But yeah, that was the first gun round that went into Dignitas' favour. However, off the back of that, NiP have looked substantially stronger. But let's see if there's going to be a factor coming into this one. If NiP actually do go for A, it's going to be one of the first rounds they've really gone for on a full buy, barring that first round. So this is like almost a rinse and repeat, I guess, of that first buy up if they do go here. But still, Kiebi's holding down Ivy. Forest, Get Right, and Exist all heading that way. This could be trouble. But then again,
still yet to use a single utility in terms of smoke. 5 of them so far, just trying to get some sort of map control here. Rubino's coming back to Ivy. That's where 3 players are going to be live right now. Going for that first phase. Somehow doesn't hit that shot. I thought he had that all day long. I think he took Get Right down to 25 HP, so there it is. And that's going to slow them down a little bit at least. As you can see, Kiabi lying in wait there. That's actually a really nice play. And they decide to commit to this.
Kirby has to be so ready. There was a step that he's going to have to hear it, and he's got to know they're coming through, and they don't check it. They turn completely, and he does at least get 1 out of that, leaving 2 of the players pouring through. Forrest and now Pitt going to try and pincer in, but Pitt's a little late to the punch, and now he's just last man standing, and timing is not on his side as Dignitas just close out both of the sides of that attack, and well controlled in the end. Again, the AWP coming through. Kiebi having a lovely time of it down by Ivy, just sitting there so well. I'm surprised no one checked it, to be fair.
It's one of those things, right? Like the time's ticking away, and you've just been tagged. His presence from the AWP player. You're right, they should be checking it, but he only got 1, and that's when the round started to get a little bit crazy for them. So Dignitas win the round, but they did lose the AWP. It's going to be Config on the Mag 7, Rubino back on an M4. So NiP still 5-5. This would be a great round to win. This would be a full reset coming for Dignitas, and that's going to help. The new boy Pitt taking down Convicts a much faster round, and Freiburg emphatically making his way towards Ivy. It's Rubino to take him down.
Trying to kick up the pace here in NiP, and so far it's going okay. A bit of a 1-for-1 trade out, but they are out on the bomb side. Tensky's super close though, as is Kiebi, but Pitt wants to get into this, and he's going to find Tensky. Big plays from him, and again delivering. That's what you want to see from Pitt coming into this one. These big important kills, but now the last 2 players, we know what MSL did before, and my god, do not dare let him do this again, NiP. Got 2 players left, a bomb plant. They should be able to work this one out. But then again, MSL says no, it's down to a 1v1. Rubino up against Forest. Forest knows where he is, he's got the plant. And now, seconds ticking. He takes the shot and he gets it. A big round for NiP, but again, MSL, he's closing these gaps so often.
That was the nightmare round for Dig to lose as well. As I mentioned, that's the full reset coming in after that 5-round deficit. It's Pitt, the new boy I mentioned, going on a very fast round there, getting in, finding 3 headshots with the AK, just opening that bomb site by himself, and Forrest with a nice calm clutch there. Didn't really have to work too hard for it. You could see the CT panicking a little bit. Low HP, didn't really have full control of the situation, and it's a massive round for them to win. You can see the CT's now just with 5.7s and a USP. That's about all they've got to work with. Not going to be rushing inside or anything this time. They're going to be just holding back on more of a standard setup. NiP will be well aware of the financial situation and just making their way towards inside once again.
Yep. Exist going to be the forefront player there, but Kievi's got himself to this spot again. Oh, the timing on it. He thought maybe there'd be a boost above the box or someone hopping up and over. Not the case. Exist is going to walk in and say hello to the rest of them, as this is going to be a very clean one, I can imagine. Bomb is down. Densky getting a little closer than maybe they'd like, but does at least get the kill then, but not too much to worry about. He was the player with the UMP, so I can imagine Exist was always willing to bite the bullet if required, and Freiburg does shut it out. So for a T-side thus far, actually quite impressive.
For NiP T-side, yeah, absolutely. Yep. It's just, I wasn't sure what to expect coming into this one, but they've been very regimented so far. It's actually been quite an impressive performance in terms of individual skills. Some players, Pitt showing up with some great entry frags, Freiburg having a great showing as well. It's been it's been a long time since we've seen him top fragging for NiP, and he's doing it right now. 7 plays 5. It's going to be a single AWP on Rubino, glass cannon, and Tensky on a scout. Config's got a Mag 7. You can feel this game falling out of control for Dignitas here. Forrest once again going for those wall bangs, Doesn't land any damage so far. I don't think that's worked out for him at all at the moment. It's just the idea of that shooting towards connector and finding players that are running out and hopefully doing a little bit of damage. If you headshot them, you can take them down. Rubino does spot a player towards Ivy, but missing the shot once again. No leg this time.
This is a position I haven't seen Dignitas in with this current roster in a little while, where they're not, causing the upset when they're the ones now on the receiving end. Curious to see how mentally they deal with this, because MSL is the guy at the forefront who does massive amounts of impact as well. So kind of a very interesting game between these two. I want to see how well they play out the rest of this.
Now they've established as a scout, they can almost assume the utility will be very low for Dignitas, right? So why not just go back to that inside play again? It's worked out so successfully before. This time you're having an even bigger upper hand, because you know the money's weak, and just having a look at the CT equipment, they've got one flashbang remaining. So one kit, one flashbang, do the same inside take. It's worked so effectively before. It's the perfect call right now.
This is I guess, kind of insight that we don't normally see from NiP, or the NiP of just the last couple of months when they did play. So this is a great addition, whether it's threat or just a renewed attitude, who knows, but thus far it's going well. So the bomb is going to go down 5v5 just as the trades come in. Tensky found Pit, and now Get Right did respond. So now you can see the push-up comes from MSL, and gets a bit of damage towards Exist, but not enough to take him down. Config comes in and finds we're down to 3. Suddenly it's not looking so good, but Forrest and Freiburg coming up with what they need. But now, on the rotate, Get Right doing what he does best, and actually Config's checking it. 23 HP, but
you can't justify staying for too long there, to be honest. It's going to be Get Right to finish this off. Coming for an easy frag in the back onto Config, and just Rubino with the USP can't really do much. They fought all they could. They just didn't have the equipment or the weapons to actually take them down there. So, unfortunately for them, they will be on to another force buy here. We enter round number 14. You can see them going for upgraded pistols, CZs, Scout, and you assume this round going in favour of NiP once again. You can see them reading the situation quite effectively as well. It's going to be 2 SMGs that can act as a recon player, getting in there first, not getting dropped to the pistols, but a double Scout set up for Dignitas, in fact. So, interesting to see where they decide to go with this. It'll be a very fast play towards outside once again.
Certainly could be. Molly's going to force a little bit of an adjustment from Config there. He's going to have to get himself hopping in between the trains, a little bit of a fluff of the lines, but Forrest still will pick up the frag with the rifle tap. Beautiful follow-up, just the one tap towards Rubino. As, to be fair, they're making these kills look easy. Bearing in mind there is upgraded armor, but there's the response. Suddenly Dignitas come alive. We're in a 2v2, but far from ideal as the bomb will be put down, I can imagine, towards B as they're already slipping through, but Dignitas aren't fully aware of this just yet. Bikiebi's in a perfect position to make this very awkward, as Get Right is a million miles away.
Kiabi and Tensky just have a Scout and a MAC-10 to work with, but it is a 2-on-2 situation. Forrest inside of the bomb right now, but Kiabi actually in a really advantageous position in terms of where he is compared to Forrest. Just needs to hold there and wait for the plant to come in, and that's a free kill. Fortunately for Forrest, Get Right's on the other side of the map, so this could be devastating. I don't really think he can justify planting right now. It would be an absolute nightmare for him to be dropped.
Get Right just being given a little bit of time to work with, maybe to find out some information, maybe to spot out a player, ideally take down one of the two. But time is going to be running out very shortly, and as you said, Kiebi in a perfect position to really cause some havoc with this.
I can see 30 seconds remaining. Get Right's trying to find anything he can with this. Forrest decides to move now. Looking like he'll be going for the safe plant towards connector. He's hoping Get Right can rotate in. It's actually working out perfectly because Kiabi obviously in the upper ramp position won't be expecting his unorthodox plant. It's a really sloppy exchange, but Forrest, that's much better. Really clean headshot on the Kiabi to finish things off, and that's really nice control teamwork there. They had a plan, they stuck to it. Get Right coming towards outside. He was going to come into connector when that default plan was towards connector area as well. It looked really nice setup for them, and Get Right, with Forrest, that really nice shot to finish things off as well. A really nice, clean and effective 2-on-2. So we go into the final round. It's going to be another force buy, obviously, for Team Dignitas, Famises, Scouts, and Deagles, and CZs. And NiP potentially going to double figures here in the first half.
Certainly could be, but MSL going to switch up the pace, and it pays off. Exist falls, and the trading does eventually equate into favour towards Dignitas. They can back away comfortably here. Get Right could not trade them out, sadly, as Pit yet to take control of Pop, as he has been doing consistently, but this time he's got the bomb, so there was a difference in regard to that, but still, Get Right desperately waiting to see if he can find any information, as Rubino's starting to look for a little bit himself. And even on these just kind of shoddy buys, I guess, for Dignitas, it's certainly not a bad start.
Well, this is the thing, like when you've got such little weaponry and equipment, someone needs to do something. MSL pushing towards inside, that's perfect. Gets the first kill onto Exist, at least stops any execute potential that NiP had in mind at the start of the round. You can see them making their way back towards the inside bomb site. I'd be surprised we saw that same execute coming in again. Just going to be Freiburg towards the main entrance of outside. Did spot Rubino. He's changed his position up. They're kind of hoping the Freiburg can find one kill out here and just pull one of the CTs out of the inside bomb site before they execute.
He actually might... We'll see. Molly's going to go down. I don't think that's going to cause any problem for Config so far. So Freiburg making a lot of noise. He will find Tensky, but right above him is Rubinho, so a nice trade out again. But Freiburg did enough. He kept their attention toward the side. But there are two players here for Dignitas, Kiebi and MSL. MSL completely white at this point, but Kiebi's got his back. Forrest falls as he pushes through. And now Config on the flank. Stunning shot comes out. Pick gets denied. Rifle recovered. Get Right can't save it. And Config again. This boy with the deagle is out of his mind. But let's just kind of take a step back, because that was a very solid showing from NiP. Something
Absolutely.
I've not seen in a while.
Yeah, very impressive. Even after losing the pistol and actually going 4-0 down, they come back and win the half 9-6 on the T side of train. That's not something I thought I'd be seeing here today for Dignitas. After going that 4-0, I thought they were going to run away with this one, but NiP stayed composed, and they knew what their strategy was going forward. They had a nice mix-up of fast, loose stuff towards outside, and they had the solid execution-based stuff as well towards that inside bomb side. We didn't see much of the set pieces on the outside side, like a wall of smokes and bombs going down in that respect, but it didn't really seem like they needed to. They actually knew exactly what the objective was, whether it was a pick-based round. They were getting the picks quite effectively, working that Ivy area, and it just seemed like you could see how that was affecting Dignitas. They actually, in a disarray with their money, couldn't really get things stable towards the end. They're kind of lucky, I think, to get that last round on the board. It just came down to that big MSL play pushing in towards that lower ramp. Had he not found that frag, that could have been a 10-5 in favour of NiP, but he did manage to do it, and we have a very interesting game on our hands here. Dignitas has no slobs on their terrorist side as well.
Definitely not.
So we'll see what NiP can bring to the table on their CT pistol, whether they'll be bringing something aggressive and trying to get in the faces of Dignitas, or it's going to be sitting back and allowing them to execute.
I think this could be a really nice half for the likes of, Config to have a little bit more control on it, MSL to kind of come through, and individuals to shine a little brighter, I can imagine. But still, NiP, a lot to be shown. One good half isn't quite saying that the return is back. It's just a nod in the right direction, really. And I just think it feels like there's a little bit of a different composure to them. They just seem like they're playing a nicer game of CS than where they left off. But then again, first game I'm watching, still early days with your new players coming in.
Of course.
Call it a honeymoon period if you want. You've got a new coach. You've got a lot of new factors there. So all of that aside, this is the first half in, well, we've even got another map coming up afterwards, so there's a lot to be seen here, and Dignitas still have so much potential to certainly upset in this one. So Config going to be the one to go on the armor. So yeah, 4 pieces of armor, a little bit of utility with MSL, and on the other side, get right with the CZ very early on here.
Yeah, it's going to be close range quarters combat for him, I'd assume. Look at that big spray down, and Dignitas opting to send most of the players towards inside here. Going to be going for a simple execute, I'd imagine, just smoking towards the lower ramp, flashing in, and trying to swarm the bomb site. It almost guarantees you a bomb plant, so even if you don't win the round, it's actually quite a nice way to set your economy up. CTs do have 2 players in there. Actually got one rotating back in as well. There's the flashback to kick things off.
Great nade as well. Config and Kirby catch that one, but Geralt can't find the damage really with the CZ that he'd want to, but Exist and Forrest are doing the work with the USPSs, and Freiburg can't hit a goddamn thing. We're down to this 2v2. The kit is still with Exist, bearing in mind. Pick gets picked up round the back, which is not what you want here, leaving Exist in the 1v1 though. He's picked up 2 this round. Can he find that last player? Smokes in and he's going for it. Full defuse.
What?
I think.
I don't know if he meant to come off the bomb there. That was kind of strange. And there's a knife coming in. Surely not.
Oh my god, Exist. No.
Oh god, I feel sick.
What was that round?
What? He could have
What was that round?
He had a smoke down. He went for the full defuse. Just decided, I'm going to go off and keep staring at the bomb, and then get knifed.
What was that round?
Why? How could he not kill him when he was trying to knife him?
I don't know.
Like, once you got the first stab, you thought, okay, he's definitely not going to knife him. That'd be insane. Oh, wait, no.
I just wish we had like a Yanko reaction cam just to see the disappointed face.
I saw his body flailing over there on the sofa.
It is essentially the best way to do it. But Geralt again going to be in this position this time. No help from the nade and makes no odds anyway, so just an upgraded pistol for anything for MSL. I think it's taken away instantly, but still 4v4 here. Bomb will be planted. Pit not going to have the shot of that one, as Freiburg will finish it off. And actually Pit is one of those players who absolutely love watching with the deagle, but doesn't get a chance of it. And now Freiburg looking to do the damage. But still, 2v2, they're making this costly to some small degree. However, the last 2 players, at least on the T side, are the ones with rifles. And a good start here, until then, at least for Dignitas.
Well, it's going to be a one-on-one. No kit for Forrest, looking like he's bowing out of the round. Does manage to get 2 frags. So did Freiburg, but I still feel like they'll be recovering from that disarray of the pistol round. That was
This is getting flashbacks every time Forrest got his knife out there. Just please stop it.
Like, that was crazy. Like I said, it's one of those rounds and you've had such a successful first half and you've actually done all the work you had to. And it looked like that bomb was planted in the smoke. He went for the full defuse. I just can't imagine. Like, he wasn't I don't know why he got off it. Like, he didn't. If you're going to get off it, you'd obviously turn around and try and have you pre-fire where you think the terrorist is coming from. Like, anyway, they did go for the force by NiP and it didn't really. They got a few kills, but unfortunately didn't manage to take the round there. So it's going to be Dignitas back onto 4 rifles and MSL on towards a MAC-10. Forrest did save the scout, so something to work with, but this is going to be Dignitas leveling things up here at 9-9.
Really good stuff from Dignitas, showing that, you know, this is certainly not over. They have just as much presence. Oh, beautiful movement from MSL, and thank God for his sake, as here we go. Forrest and Get Right doing the dirty work as Freiburg finds one. And what is this round? Again, how many of these rounds are we going to see turned? But it is down to config. The rifle's been removed. And, well, Exist still has one, but then again, he finds it very hard to take on players with knives. So I don't know how much I want to read into that, but there is a scout. The bomb's in a bad spot that probably is going to be spotted out by Forrest, or if not already imagined to be there as such.
So an inside rush. That turned into an absolute horror show there for Dignitas. Great exchanges, and Forrest picks up 2 frags, and Get Right getting one as well. He gets a MAC-10. Exist with the AK-47 and config now. With all to play for. It does have 1 minute remaining, but no real positional control to speak of. Just going to be walking around towards Pop Dog here, seeing whether anyone will gift him a frag. Any rotations, but you can see NiP just poised and ready for this. 3 players towards inside, and the good thing is why they can do that is Forrest is just a main patrolling that area as well. So decent gamble here, I'd say, for NiP, and then the round should be over in the next couple of seconds there. Or is it? There it is. Get Right finishes things off.
And they get the upgrade as well. Perfect. I don't think Pitt can quite make it, but still.
After they suffer that horrible little round in the first pistol, they kind of get a little bit of luck themselves. An inside rush really working in their favour. Forrest, great scout work down on right. It's kind of weird why Dignitas would do that. You always put a smoke down at least towards the ramp, right? It's like, even if you're rushing it, you want to chuck one of those down, you're going in a flashbang as well. They just went completely dry, and NiP capitalised with that scout. Perfect placement from Forrest. And now it's going to be a force buy from Dig themselves. They've got Galil's AKs and 3 pistols there, so with the smokes they have, they could do a full execute here, looking like they will be going towards inside side, so it'll be very similar to what we saw from NiP, I'd assume. Very similar methodology. Smoke go all over the bomb site, flashbangs come in, and just bust into the bomb site and try and get the bomb down as quickly as possible.
I'll certainly be punished if they don't put those smokes into the right places this time. Get Right is waiting there. I believe that's a molly to hand. There it goes. Actually goes deeper than the smoke does, so they will have to walk through if they do want to back him up. Perfect flash as well to follow. Get Right gets the shot towards Rubino just before he gets flashed, but they are completely wide and he still gets config. Frustration aplenty, I can imagine, but he can't find Kiebi, who does at least trade out on that. But by now, Dignitas are just down to 1 man. They've taken themselves towards the B side. The bomb's left over towards the other side, and there's Freiburg closing it down. So Get Right certainly having a great time here on this B side, doing wonderfully.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from him. That force by not really equating for much for Dignitas here. A noisy little replay coming in, but I'm enjoying it. Get Right, great work there through the smoke. And it finishes off as well. So there it is. Dignitas will be on pretty much a full eco here. Well, exactly a full eco, not a single thing purchased whatsoever. 5 Glocks and no utility. So this is an almost throwaway round. Just going to try and get the bomb down any manner they can. Looks like an inside rush coming in. Get Right, are you ready?
There we go. The spray down begins. There's 1, there's 2. Looking for more. 3rd. Not going to get the 4th. But by this point, there's Forrest with the nice little bit of, I guess, trigger control at the end. Just savouring the bullets.
But is that like your analysis of the round? Bit of something to take away from it. Oh, it's something to work with. Yeah. No, it's a pretty clean round. Like, they wanted to get the bomb down.
Are you giving me shit?
A little bit. Got to keep you in the
Sorry,
toes.
what scoreline would Dignitas be wanting right now, Henry?
Ah, there it is. That's what we needed. That's how we can spice this cast down.
That's it.
Some redundant questions. Let's
Wow.
keep those coming.
Why am I getting the abuse today? Just because your marriage with Matt is failing, don't take it out on me.
We'll actually have a good couple of days.
Sorry. Okay, I'll leave you with a good couple of days. As so far for Dignitas, that T side is not looking like a good couple of rounds as they're starting to dwindle. And, well, NiP holding on to this one.
Oh, it's a really nice pick there from Get Right to open it up. Aggressive, of course, towards the lower ramp. Takes down config, and any chances they had of working a pick towards that inside has been eradicated. And we can see the bomb still towards T-spawn here, and no orb whatsoever for Dignitas. So they'll be trying to work a pick in the form of Rubino. He's made his way towards the end of Ivy. Shots being rattled off by Exister. This frag's going to be huge. If he can get this one, it's going to secure the round for an NiP, or We'll potentially open it up at Dignitas. Let's see when they decide to go. Still have 1 minute remaining, and they have got smokes as well, so it could go into more of an execution-based attack here.
Very specific analysis then from you, Henry. Thank you ever so much.
That's what I'm here for, in a way.
So it's just for the denim. But Exist did, I think, just see the barrel of the gun as well. So he's got the information there, but Forest will at least find Kiebi, so that's a good start out there for NiP. And Exist does get the frag, as you said. Quite an important one. It could have maybe created some options there, but Dignitas, sadly, down to 2 players, are going to start finding this incredibly hard to find any way into this. But that's a good start. MSL going to find one. Can't quite get the spray on towards Freiburg. And Tensky just dancing with the devil right now as Pitt is the one pushed up. Waiting to see if anyone will wander down. I think Tensky's got a shot at this one, sadly, as Pitt will close it. And again, NiP dealing with everything pretty well so far.
Yeah, it's a really nice reaction from Get Right to open it up. Falls back, and Dignitas had to try and work with something that didn't really have an AWP to open up the map for them. Just slowly walking into some key areas, not finding the frags. And it's going to be yet another eco coming in here. You can see they've upgraded their Glocks to some Deagles. But, well, 5 Deagles, in fact. These guys can be very proficient with them. We saw Kialbi at DreamHack recently, Leipzig, looking incredibly on point, especially on this map as well.
Yeah, let's not remind any Polish fans of what Config can do as tiers will form, and that's a start and a half. All right, Exist, just a nice kill for free. And sadly not a single shot going to be particularly connecting so far for Dignitas, and it's down to Config and Tensky to find anything.
Absolutely. The scoreline's going to be 14-8 here. And it's actually Dignitas who won both pistols as well. So they went 4-0 up in the first half, and hello, okay. Tensky with a pretty outstanding shot on Exist, and as I finish my point, they win the pistol here on the second half as well. And the fact the scoreline's 14-8, that's pretty impressive statistic for NiP. There we go then. Just going to be 2 players remaining. Tensky and Config. Config with another wonder shot towards Freiburg. And just going to leave Config once again above the pop dog area. Bomb in hand and a dream. So one I think is going to turn into a nightmare.
Beautiful play-by-play, Henry. Thank you so much.
That's
for
good,
that.
right? I think I saw that from Matt, actually. I think he said
Really?
that. Yeah. Shout out to Sedigus.
Shout out to Matt.
Yeah.
Thanks for inspiring us on the daily basis. To be fair, he does come up with some quite ingenious things, but back to that in a moment.
Some, yeah.
Some. As Config's looking for a scalps claim, he does get the tag as well, but not enough to close anything down. And 14-8 being the scoreline. 2 players falling this round for NiP, not the end of the world. The money is flush and they are well set going forward, whereas on the other side of things, they're going to have to put this one together and hope for the best, because otherwise, NiP looking like they're back on track here, just showing what they can do on train.
There we go then, yeah. 1 point away from map points, and Forest with the AWP once more. Interesting to see whether they try to mix things up here, go for a really aggressive play towards Ivy. I would say this would be a perfect opportunity to do that. And looking like it actually might be coming in, you know, it does Exist, and Pitt going fast towards that area. It's going to be Forest with him on green train here. Just looking for that pick towards A main. Exist has got aggressive towards Ivy, but just battling out through the smoke there, gets away with his life. Dignitas set up in a pretty standard position right now. Bomb left towards T-spawn. And interesting enough, though, Pitt has made it in towards main entrance, so that's a decent bit of intel for them at least.
Yep. I wonder if he's going to dare to go further. That's the thing. The bomb isn't actually that far away either.
I think at this point you literally have no idea what the terrorists are. You haven't got any control. So I think staying in this position is great. It means you've eradicated main entrance being a possibility. And it also means you can see them kind of adjusting themselves. So you got Get Right by himself towards inside, just from the M4. It's very passive indeed. They've got 4 players committed towards outside. Interesting to see what Dignitas bring to the table here to at least open the map up for themselves. Looking like a smoke execute here potentially.
This could be a lovely position for Pitt as well if he...
yeah, this could be, you know.
If he does well. I think they're going to pop flash this. He is turned, waiting correctly, and actually does get the drop towards MSL. Another player tries to run the gauntlet, but he makes it through. Kiebi is there, the bomb not too far behind, but Freiburg already at the gate just says no, and suddenly we're down to 2 players remaining for the T side. Bruno in a decent spot, but Config as well, having to do all the heavy lifting now as he's the only man alive, pushing right down towards the eyes of Forest, and it ends about as well as you'd expect. But really nice stuff from Pitt, then pushing up a little bit closer, but Freiburg being the one to really support him out on that.
Yeah, really nice stuff indeed. Like Dignitas, unfortunately for them, didn't have any control of the map whatsoever. They hadn't gone into even main entrance, they hadn't got someone to Ivy. They were all outside towards T-spawn, went for a full smoke execute, and even though Pitt only got 1, it was enough. It slowed them right down. It allowed them to get a nice early call off as well. Freiburg came in, mowed them down, and that's going to bring NiP to first map point here. It's after losing both pistols, a really convincing scoreline. Forest continuing the assault here as he takes down Tensky. It's a much faster approach here from Dignitas.
Config did make it out, at least, so he's maybe got the drop on one, but no, Pith was waiting perfectly, and now the line of NiP players are sending these boys back one by one. Kiebi, the only one to make a breakthrough, as MSL Thinks maybe he can save the day. He's clutched before, but this might be a step too far, as there we have it. NiP.
They're back. It's happening. The year of the ninja.
Oh, wow. Really? You going for it? No, Henry, you believe.
I'm just saying that was actually one of the best NiP performances I've seen. Like I said, losing both pistols, and that's just really solid terrorist approach from them. They actually seem they've been doing their homework. They've got tactics to fall back to, and they can rely on the faster loser stuff as well. It was a great overall package. 16-8, that's a fantastic way to kick things off with the new lineup, really, and threat coming in as well. It's pretty convincing stuff.
That's what I can't wait to see the impact of down the line, because Threat has yet to have really any time to build with them. So this is a fantastic foundation of a new form NiP if this can keep up. But then again, maybe Dignitas not having the best of times, but still, enough of our thoughts. Let's hear from the analysis.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Brilliant stuff from NiP there. We're excited to see what they're going to bring to the table. And honestly, it should have been even better, because they should have won that original opening pistol.
Everyone jump on the NiP train.
Yeah,
best team 2016 confirmed they're gonna win the major. Everything. I mean, it was a great performance from them on this map. They, as Henry pointed out, they did lose both pistols in a really terrible way, but managed to win it pretty convincingly. But I still wouldn't. You know, I think that it's obvious that Dignitas is not as comfortable on this map as they are on some others. So for me, the real interesting point to see how strong NiP is right now is the next map, Mirage.
Absolutely, and I think that's a good point, because the timing for Dignitas was something that was really obviously very good 2 nights ago on Mirage. Tonight there wasn't that same cohesion. Rubino walking in Ivy without much support walks into Exist, who already spotted his gun barrel as well, so it was kind of peculiar he was that far forward, but just little things like that. But the one thing about NiP I want to say is that I kind of highlighted Freiburg to be a guy to step up. I thought maybe Pith could help that. I don't think Pith necessarily did in this game, but Freiburg played way more aggressively than normal. Yeah, his T side, he was running all the way through the B side, taking a lot of map control, giving them a lot of ground. I have to say, a lot of the first half, the reason they won so many rounds is just how many kills he got that was 2-for-1 trades in his favor.
Yeah, absolutely. It was they were 4-0 down as well, and it was him that really turned it around. If I've even got it written down, it was the big 3K, and then straight away round afterwards 4K. So it was real big stuff from Freiburg when they were getting picked off. So stepping up when it counts is what we like to see. This is the old NiP that we're hoping we can start to develop throughout 2016. Now they've got Threat on the table as well.
I mean, everyone was playing really well. Get right on the B bomb side, on the CT side too. Pite had that good round when they were changing the pace with the outer
Should
rush.
we mention the Exist? No.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
it was just weird, but in the grand scheme of things, no one cares because they won the game.
Exist cares?
They won the game pretty
Damn right
easily.
it does.
But
Taco cares.
Taco cares, right? I mean, yeah, but also it's refreshing to see NiP with some, good late round strats and so on like that. Those B executes have been pretty crisp. So yeah, maybe Threat did have some time to.
So Forrest trying to hit that wall bang
influence.
every round as well.
Well, it's probably doing it for a reason. I mean, we didn't see it work in this particular
It was
game.
so close though as well at one point. It almost got him.
It's enough if he gets a tag. I mean, there's not much he can do from that spot early on.
So you might as well take a chance.
Different chance. So why not? Maybe someone runs into it. He doesn't lose anything by trying it.
Yeah. So fantastic stuff. Obviously, the opener it is Train. It was technically NiP's map, which we expected. Obviously, moving on to Mirage. What do we think? We think this is going to be a very different ball game. Or more importantly, actually, I want to talk about Dignitas. Like, is this a sign of Dignitas when it's not going their way? They kind of teamwork falls a little apart.
I think that it was as much the map as much as I don't think this was necessarily a crumble from them. I think the map's obviously different for them because of the fact we saw that Rubino was the main opera. They still haven't ironed it out. Whereas Mirage, I think they are a little more set. I can't say this was a choker or crumble by any means from Dig. I just think the timing wasn't there to begin with. However, what I will say is going on to this map, this was a map that NiP traditionally were bad at. They never liked. They brought in Alu, and then they had the influence from Natu. Then they started to bring that Finnish sort of touch to it and got better. But now without them, I'm curious to see if they can even still play this.
Well, we'll see how it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, it will be Mirage for Dignitas versus NiP.